What is the future for cities? Do you want to learn more about them? Do you want to know how others think about them? Do you want to be part of the conversation? Then this is the right place.
Welcome to the fourth birthday episode of the What is the Future for Cities podcast. First and foremost, thank you very much for my interviewees who took the time and shared their knowledge, skills, experiences, and expertise about the future of cities so we can learn from them. And also thank you, dear listener, joining us on this very exciting journey. As we celebrate another year of What is the Future for Cities podcast, it's a fitting moment to pause and reflect on the incredible journey we've taken together over the last 101 episodes, just like the dalmatians. From episode 252 to 356, we traversed a complex and fascinating landscape of urban thought, guided by a diverse chorus of thinkers, planners, technologists, and community leaders. Looking back, the conversations weave a rich tapestry of ideas revealing dominant themes, emerging trends, and provocative outliers that collectively shape our understanding of the cities of tomorrow. Throughout the past year, several core topics consistently formed the bedrock of our discussions. The most prominent of these was the dynamic interplay between community, participation, and public space. Kicking off this cycle in episode 252 with a deep dive into co-creation, we repeatedly returned to the fundamental idea that cities are, above all, for people. We explored how genuine community engagement is moving beyond tokenistic surveys towards empowering residents to become active shapers of their environment. Guests highlighted innovative models of participatory design, tactical urbanism, and the reclamation of public spaces for social connection. The dialogue emphasized that the success of future cities hinges not on top-down master plans, but on creating frameworks that allow for organic, community-led growth and adaptation. Naturally, the conversation around people-centric cities was intertwined with the urgent theme of anti-fragility and resilience. This wasn't just about green buildings or renewable energy. It was a holistic examination of how cities can survive and thrive in the face of climate change and resource scarcity. We heard from experts on circular economies who challenged our linear take-make-waste models and proposed regenerative systems for everything from food and water to construction materials. The concept of the 50-minute city resurfaced frequently, not just as a planning novelty, but as a resilient urban form that localizes essential services, reduces carbon-intensive mobility, and strengthens neighborhood bonds. Technology, of course, remained a central and often conscientious pillar of the discussion. The narrative around the smart city has matured significantly. Conversations moved from the what, like sensors, data platforms, and AI, to the why and for whom. Guests challenged us to consider who owns the data, who benefits from the efficiency gains, and who can prevent technological solutions from exacerbating existing problems. The focus shifted from technology as a panacea to technology as a tool, one that must be wielded carefully and intentionally to serve our goals. Listening back, one of the most powerful emerging themes is the growing recognition of urban health as a foundational principle. This extends beyond the absence of disease to encompass mental well-being, social connection, and access to nature. We heard compelling arguments for designing cities that combat loneliness, reduce stress, and encourage physical activity. Discussions about biophilic design, the importance of green corridors, and the psychological impact of the built environment underscored a trend towards prioritizing the holistic well-being of urban dwellers. Another significant trend was the re-evaluation of governance and economic models. There is a palpable sense that the traditional hierarchical structures of city management and the singular pursuit of GDP growth are no longer fit for purpose. We explored alternative economic indicators that measure well-being and environmental health. Guests introduced us to new models of civic crowdfunding, community land trusts, and data cooperatives, all pointing towards a more distributed, democratic, and better distribution of power and resources. This signals a move away from the city as a corporation and towards the city as a commonwealth. A year of conversations would be incomplete without outliers and contrarians who challenge our assumptions. One of the most striking tensions was the recurring debate between technological optimism and the more cautionary, resource-focused pragmatism. In one corner, we heard visions of a future where AI-optimized grids, autonomous mobility, and advanced materials solve our most wicked problems. In the other, voices served as a stark reminder that our challenges are fundamentally rooted in resource management and that we need to work on that part to solve our problems. Another fascinating outlier was the deep dive into the non-human city. While most of our focus is rightly on people, a few conversations pushed us to consider the role of urban biodiversity, animal habitats, and even microbial life in the urban system. These perspectives challenged the anthropocentric view of city building and asked us to imagine cities as complex ecosystems in which humans are just one part. It's a radical and humbling idea that forces us to rethink everything from park design to waste management. So, after 101 conversations, what have we learned? The future of cities is not a single predetermined destination. It is a contested, negotiated, and continuously evolving process. It is less about flying cars and utopian master plans and more about the hard, incremental work of building more resilient, anti-fragile, and humane communities. The dominant lesson from the past year is one of integration. The most promising urban futures are not found in siloed solutions, but in the synthesis of ideas, where smart technology serves community goals, where economic development is tied to ecological regeneration, where public health is a key metric for urban design. The future, it seems, is deeply collaborative. It's about breaking down the barriers between planners and citizens, technologists and ethicists, economists and ecologists. As we look ahead to another year of inquiry, this spirit of collaboration and holistic thinking will continue to be our guide. I would also like to take time to thank you for being part of the conversation. It is always a pleasure to hear from the audience members getting feedback on the conversations. I appreciate your attention and time you spend with the podcast, and I hope that you will continue to do so in the future because even better things are coming. More on this in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. More is to come, so don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with someone who would enjoy it. Have a lovely day and talk to you next time about
What is the Future for Cities podcast.